Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most shonen manga series out there that just got an anime, Mashle Magic and Muscles. Now before we get started, make sure to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss any updates. Now without further ado, let's get it! Mashle Magic and Muscles was created by Hajime Komoto. The manga was first published in Weekly Shonen Jump magazine on January 27, 2020 and is still ongoing. The anime adaptation of Mashle was produced by A1 Pictures and first aired on April 8, 2023 on Tokyo MX. Now, let's get into the story. Mash Burn Dead finishes his daily weight training in the woods and eats a cream puff before going home. When he arrives home, he accidentally breaks the door off its hinges, saying he couldn't remember if it was a push or a pull, so he just tried to force it. After Regro, his father, is visibly annoyed at Mash's actions, he apologizes and says that he will fix it. However, his idea of fixing it is to push the door repeatedly into the frame. As the door is at the wrong angle, after being slammed into the wall numerous times, it breaks into 3 pieces, causing Mash to apologize again. After this, Mash asks his father why he has him work out all the time. However, Regro does not answer, saying that's a story for another time. He then leaves the house, reminding Mash never to go into the city. Mash says that he won't, but his promise is short-lived as he sees a flyer for Goblin Cream Puffs and heads into the city to buy some. When he gets into the city, he sees people using magic for all sorts of things, including making food, serving drinks, and cleaning people's feet. However, Mash is not impressed at all, saying, couldn't they just do all this stuff by hand? He arrives at Goblin Cream Puffs and asks for 7 of them, but on his way there, he had managed to crush the coins that he had been holding. He bends them back into shape, freaking out the shopkeeper to the point of making him scream. Just as Mash is given his order, a gust of wind blows his hood down, causing people to see that he doesn't have a magic mark. Mash starts to make his way home, eating a cream puff as he walks, but he bumps into a policeman named Terry. Terry starts to shout at Mash, as his cream puff got all over Terry's clothes. So Mash rips the clothes off of Terry, telling him that he will wash them for him. This causes Terry to shout at Mash even louder. But as this happens, Brad Coleman, another policeman, arrives and asks Terry what's happening. Brad recognizes Mash as the unmarked kid that had been reported earlier, but before he can do anything, Regro appears, grabs Mash, and runs away. When they arrive home, Regro shouts at Mash for not listening to him and going into the city. Mash apologizes and says that it won't happen again. After seeing that Mash feels bad and regrets what he did, Regro calms down and tells him to repeat his morning training routine as punishment. Before leaving, Mash gives Regro the rest of his cream puff as a present. Shortly after Mash goes back into the woods, Brad, Terry, and an unnamed third policeman smash through the wall and ask where Mash is. Mash finishes his training after 5 minutes and begins to head home, singing a song about cream puffs. When he gets to the door, he tries to remember if he has to push or pull and overhears Brad say, "You knew we'd come for the kid." He stands by the door and hears Brad say that people who can't use magic should never have been born and must be executed, so that there won't be more like them in the future. Regro shouts out, telling Mash to run away. However, Mash doesn't listen, comes crashing through the door, knocking out the unnamed policeman. He then runs up to Terry and rips his shirt off again, causing him to stand still in confusion. He then proceeds to slap Terry in the face countless times. Regro asks why Mash didn't run away, to which he responds, "Because we're family and you're all I've got." He then says that he might as well have sent you guys to hell, a statement that Brad finds funny as he believes it's impossible for someone without magic to defeat him. Brad casts the spell Nalcompass and fires it at Mash, but he easily deflects it. This shocks Brad as he had previously used the spell to run off a dragon. He then casts a more powerful spell, but Mash easily deals with that one too. Brad fires a barrage of spells at Mash, but he deals with them in a variety of ways, including juggling them and treating them like a football. He then picks up Regro's wand and throws it at Brad, cutting his cheek as it sticks into the wall. This act causes Brad to fall to the floor in shock. Brad begins to laugh and proposes a deal to Mash. He says that as long as Mash does what he asks, he will let Mash and Regro live in peace. Brad explains that they live in a very religious country and that once every year, a student is selected to become a divine visionary. He says that all Mash needs to do is enroll in a magic school and become a divine visionary. He tells Mash that he just wants the prestige and money that comes along with the title, and that he has got no choice but to accept, as if they refuse, the police will not stop chasing them until they are caught. Mash agrees to the deal and says that he just wants to be able to live in peace with his father, and that if the world won't accept that, then he's got no choice but to crush it with his fist. Mash attends the Easton Magic Academy entrance exam and trains while he is waiting for it to start. This catches the eye of the teacher that is in charge of the exam, Claude Lucci. Mash then starts to read a fitness book and pretends to sit on an invisible chair, causing Lucci to believe that he is not taking this seriously and that he won't even make it past the first round. Lucci appears in front of the students, emerging from a wall of fire in an attempt to impress the students, which works on most of them. However, Mash is not impressed at all. This angers Lucci, who says that he will make sure that Mash fails. He says that it is time for the first round to begin, as he makes tables appear from out of the ground and the test papers to fly down from the sky. Mash then questions why he hadn't just set everything up before they all arrived, angering Lucci even further. Lucci says that there is only a pass rate of 3%. There is no way that Mash should pass. The first exam consists of a test paper with moving words. However, this does not pose a problem to Mash, as he asks it to stop moving, and it does. He hands the paper to Lucci, who is shocked that Mash actually managed to pass the test. After that, Mash somehow manages to find a way to complete each test without using magic, which annoys Lucci, as he believes that Mash is trying to mock him. He then makes a large maze appear and says that they must make it out of the maze to pass the test. However, there will be countless traps trying to stop them. Shortly after the test begins, Mash is approached by Lemon Irvine, who asks if she can stay with him, saying that it would make sense to work together to get out of the maze. After the two start to make their way through the maze, Lemon proves to be very clumsy, constantly falling over and falling victim to traps. Mash questions how this is efficient and begins to run off, but Lemon casts Levios Cuffus, causing shackles to appear around Mash's hands and feet. This causes Mash to ask why Lemon did that, and Lemon apologizes for deceiving Mash, but says that she has a very personal reason for keeping Mash from getting to the goal. Mash asks what the reason is, but Lemon refuses to tell him. Lemon says that no human can break the shackles, but Mash breaks them, saying that he also has a very personal reason for why he needs to pass. He runs off, leaving Lemon behind, who is almost immediately confronted by a large Sphinx. As the Sphinx goes to attack Lemon, she calls out for help, and Mash appears, punching it in the face, knocking it out. Lemon asks why Mash would come back to help her, and he responds by saying that her personal reason might be like his, and that he felt bad for her. She says that as he came back, neither of them will make it to the goal in time. However, Mash begins to smash through the walls of the maze, making it to the goal just in the nick of time, annoying Lucci, who believed that Mash had failed. However, he impresses Wahlberg, the head master of Easton Magic Academy, who was watching the exam. After the other students see this, they see it as cheating and start to shout at Mash, telling him to go home. Mash says that he wishes that he could. The students continue to shout at him, but Lemon tells them that it was not his fault, as she was told to slow him down by Lucci, who said that he would let her pass if she caused him to fail. She accepted the deal, as she comes from a poor family and is desperate to get into Easton. Lucci says that it shouldn't matter that he tried to set up Mash, as it is his exam and he should be able to fail whoever he wants. He also says that Easton is a prestigious school and Mash is clearly a commoner. He says that he is failing both Lemon and Mash unless they want to challenge his decision, drawing his wand. Mash runs up to him and snaps his wand in half, saying that it was uncalled for. This causes the students to mutter to each other in pure shock, but they are swiftly silenced by Wahlberg, who says that they will be moving on to the final interviews and that he will be taking charge of the exam. Lucci asks why, and Wahlberg responds by saying that he wishes to see him in his office when he is finished. Mash is picked to be the first student to take the final interview and is transported inside of a large hall. Wahlberg asks why Mash chose to enroll at the school, to which Mash says that he wants to be able to live in peace with his family. The others that are present say that this is not a sufficient answer, but Wahlberg says that it is. Wahlberg then asks why Mash stopped to save Lemon, even though he was running out of time. Mash explains that if he didn't, he would later regret it. Wahlberg finds amusement out of this answer, saying that Mash is the type that acts before thinking. He then asks Mash if he ever considered that he wouldn't be able to defeat the Sphinx or break the wall. and Mash replies by saying that even if he couldn't, he still had to try. Wahlberg says that this shows that Mash does not understand how the world works, as there are many creatures that are more powerful than him. He says that he wonders what Mash would do if he were to oppose someone or something far stronger than him, asking him what he would do if he were to face him. As he says this, he releases his magic, causing a large black creature covered in mouths to appear between them. The creature is holding a lever that is attached to a blade that is suspended above a doll. Mash asks what is going on, and Wahlberg explains that this spell transfers the target's most cherished person into the doll. He says that it is an ancient spell, and he is the only person in the entire country that is capable of casting it. He then explains that if he was to put a knife into the doll, the soul would never be able to return to its owner. Wahlberg says that he is immensely more powerful than Mash, and begins to lower the knife, asking Mash what he will do. Mash puts his hands below the blade and resists it, saying that all he needs to do is outlast Wahlberg. After seeing this, Wahlberg says that Mash embodies the qualities that they look for at Easton Magic Academy. He proceeds to apologize to Mash, saying that he didn't intend to cause any harm, as this was indeed just a test. Mash says that there's no need to apologize and answers Wahlberg's question, saying that if he needs to face off against him, I'd knock the stuffing out of you with my fist. Wahlberg is shocked upon hearing this, but then chuckles and welcomes Mash to Easton Magic Academy. And that concludes the Easton enrollment arc. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and slap the bell notification icon so you never miss another video. Until next time, peace.